My name is Swati and I work with Treesling. So today I'll be giving a presentation on tech writing in life sciences, but with a different angle. So you'll come to know about that in a while. Am I going backwards?
Forward.
Yeah. Okay. So when I say life sciences, what do you like? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? What is it like about? What is life sciences? In a very broad term, high level. So it's the study of living organisms, right? There are various disciplines in life sciences. For example, forensic life sciences, medical life sciences. The part that I'm going to talk about is life sciences annex. And what this annex means, like we have this Kothurud annex and Banir annex, so similar lines. What annex means in life sciences, we'll come to know in a while. So before even I start telling about the different documents that I used in life sciences, I'd like to share a short story, a horror story, so that you guys know why the need of tech writing is important in life sciences, which did not happen actually, but it's quite plausible. So there's this brilliant team of scientists, they discovered a medicine that cures headache instantaneously. But instead of hiring a technical writer, they decide to write the instructions on how to use the medicines on their own. What did they write? What did scientists overcomplicated write? It seems Greek to me. Administer per Oz, a singular pharmacological entity, blah blah blah. Overconsumption may induce systematic perturbations. I think even an MBBS doctor will not be able to prescribe this medicine. Is the whole slide visible? Because there's some content below. Okay, sorry for the break. And finally, they came into their senses and they hired a technical writer, and this is what the technical writer wrote. Take one pill for a headache, don't take more than 2 per day. Side effects may include an upset stomach. As simple as that. So that's the importance of a technical writer in any domain, including life sciences. What are the different documents? I'll quickly walk you through the different documents that we use in life sciences. Scientific and medical writing, which includes research papers, white papers, reviews. Can you think of any other before I go ahead? No? Lab manuals, writing manuals for medical devices, electronic health records. There are these compliance documents for how to use a new drug, medicine, clinical study reports, and websites and brochures written by content writers, promotional content, patient education materials. But the thing that I'm going to talk about today is about something which is like less known. I mean, life sciences in itself is a less explored area, but the pharma digital supply chain management is a field which is lesser explored, and I'll be walking you guys through this information today in my presentation. Let me explain the process of pharma digital supply chain management with this very simple example that we kind of encounter every day. Where's my pizza? So, have you ever ordered food or over a delivery app? Yeah? And let's say we ordered pizza, or because that's my favorite. And then you've ordered, you're on Zomato, you've ordered your food, it starts buffering, the order is on the way, and you're hungry, you're frantically waiting for your order to be picked up by a delivery person. And let's say that delivery person is Datta Prasad, and you start tracking your app and you realize that the delivery person is going in the wrong direction. You start yelling at your mobile phone, stupid Datta Prasad, you're going in the wrong direction, go the other way around. And finally, the pizza is cold, it reaches you, and you open your order. Datta Prasad apologizes, sorry for the delay and everything. You open the order, and what do you get? You get a pineapple anchovy pizza. Who even eats pineapple anchovy pizza, right? And you're frustrated. Now imagine this, like it's funny when it happens with pizza, with food, but imagine the same scenario when it happens with a life-saving drug. With a late delivery of pizza, you'll be angry, but when the life-saving drug is delayed or you get the wrong order, you might die. So, how to avoid this pizza panic? So, there are various processes through which the life-saving drug or the medicine reaches you, and these are the various processes called like serialization management, inventory management, operation management, database management. I'll walk you through these processes quickly so that you get an overview of how the digital supply chain management works and how complex it is, and I'll try to relate it with this pizza example so that you guys are interested and don't make it boring. But one point to note is without TechWriter, even the best digital supply chain systems are inefficient, because if no one knows how to use these systems, then having these systems is a waste. So let me just walk them one by one. Now before even I start explaining these different management systems, these processes that are used in a pharma supply chain management, one question to the audience. When do you publish your release notes? At the time of the release, right? That's the trend, yeah? But in the pharma digital supply chain management, we release it 4 weeks before. We call it a release preview. So that is even when the engineering team actually starts working on the development work. Why so? Because the pharma digital supply, the companies, they adhere to something called as GXP. GXP stands for Good Practices, and this is used by the pharma companies to ensure quality and efficient medical products to the users. Companies who kind of develop softwares for the pharma digital supply chain management adhere to this, and that's why we release the release preview. And as the name suggests, it's a preview of the features that go in this release so that the customers get enough time to make their test environment ready, and so that everything is in place even before it goes to production, and there's no delay in these processes that we use. And then, as the usual process goes, we have the release summaries, which is more or less similar like the release preview, but it has these extra resolved issues and known issues added to the list. So what is serialization management? See, as the name suggests, the high-level idea of serialization is having a unique serial number to each product. Now, that product could be a strip of medicines, or it could be a box that contains these strips, or it could be a pallet that contain these boxes, or a container that contain these pallet. Each has an individual, each has an individual serial number, and these serial numbers could be in the form of QR codes or these. So again, there's this user guide which helps you understand the operations management system, how to use that system. So that's where a technical writer comes into picture for writing these user guides. Now imagine that when you exchange these purchase orders, so for example, I own a company, say Cipla, and I am sending a purchase order to Rocket Software. The language that Rocket Software speaks is different than the language that I speak. So it's more like, imagine this as a Google translator. So there are these mappings that happen between purchase order to purchase order, and that is one of the important aspects where a technical writer is involved. There are many more things that I would like to explain, but the time crunch, so I'll go ahead. Okay. These documents that are exchanged, they are not physical documents. They are these electronic data documents, right? And there are various standards in which these electronic data documents are exchanged. And these standards are written, for example, X12 and EDIFACT, and these standards are written by technical writers, which is a very interesting